My returning sponsor of Turn the Page Books and Music Store is the place to go to find your next read or your next record to add to your collection. It is all about the atmosphere of this place. As soon as you walk through the door, you are hit with the most magnificent lighting, the wooden floors, the smell of old books, and of course, the sound of flipping through LPs. What could be any better than that? Well, Rex. Rex is the owner of Turn the Page Books and Music Store. He is just the man to see about anything to do with music. So make sure you head over there and support him on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course, just stop by at the store. You will not want to leave. Thank you, Rex, for supporting this season. It's such an honor. I have to take a second and say a huge thank you to my first half of the season sponsor, which is a Simple Farm. I am honored to work alongside a business who I truly believe in their passion, their purpose, and their product. And a Simple Farm is just that. There is nothing better than working with a family-owned and operated business. They're nestled in the heart of rural Wabash County and is inspired by country living, handmade traditions, and a deep love for herbal and medicinal plants. From handcrafted soaps and herbal salves to cozy home goods and repurposed creations, each product is thoughtfully made using nature-inspired ingredients and a passion for simple, natural living. Rooted in creativity, heritage, and old-fashioned farmhouse values, a Simple Farm celebrates the healing beauty of herbs, the comfort of handmade goods, and the charm of a slower way of life in rural Indiana. Folks, you're going to want to pick up some of their products, so make sure you head over to a Simple Farm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll have their website linked below so you can just easily click on any of their platforms and you can find them automatically. Like I said, I truly believe in them. And Kristen Reynolds, if you want to learn more about her, there's 2 articles on my website, and there's a podcast with Kristen Reynolds and her son Vincent. So make sure you head over to season 1 of Here in My Time and you can hear their interview. Now on to the episode. Well, hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Well, hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Here in My Time, the podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between generations. My name is Lauren Hunt, and I am a local personal journalist, photographer, documentarian, and quite frankly, just somebody who loves stories and the people who tell them. Today I bring you a story of my 2 friends, Joe and Becky Hartley. One is a broom maker, one is a quilter, and together they have a business that sells these beautifully handcrafted, one-of-a-kind pieces. And I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. It's a candid conversation with just a bunch of friends sitting at their kitchen table. And, you know, I love these kind of conversations. This is why I love podcasts. And I just think you're really going to enjoy this. So grab your cup of coffee. We jump right in and talk about how we met. Like I said, I am passionate about bridging the gap between generations. And if anything, this episode shows it so well. So I hope you enjoy. Grab your cup of coffee. Let's jump right into it. Well, why don't we just kind of get into starting talking about, first off, we should tell them how we met, because I can't remember which festival it was. Do you remember what?
Huntington.
Was it at Huntington?
Yeah. Pioneer.
We actually met, yeah.
Pioneer.
Yeah.
Pioneer
That's right.
Days.
That's right. It's one of our first ones that we did, I think,
Yeah,
there.
that was first year. We're on the corner, I know that. Where
Yeah.
we've always been on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first year.
This girl comes walking up, young girl. I thought, oh, she's like 18.
I don't even, how old was
You
I?
were, I think, in your 20s.
And it's okay, yeah. That sounds about right.
You have a young face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's been a few years.
It's been a long time, because that was,
I came to meet Joe,
And you bought a broom.
the broom maker.
yeah.
We thrilled you, so you spent much of your money.
Yeah, I was so excited. Okay, first off, I had learned how to do broom making. And for the listeners who might not realize, like, that's an actual craft. And you can do so much cool things with broom making. I had just picked up learning how to make brooms, and I was so excited that I happened upon you guys. And I saw handmade brooms. Like, what are the chances? And that's why I know there's got to be God. Like, you know what I mean? God just really has a divine path. And I walked in, and I was like,
No way. Well, of course, you have beautiful quilts alongside that. And I got to talking with you guys, and I was like, I need one of these brooms. First off, I didn't realize how, like, polished the brooms could possibly look, because starting off, mine was
Right.
not that polished. But I was like, it was so cool to find people that were doing these crafts. And then we got to talking, me and Joe did. And ever since then, I've just called you my broom buddy. And it's so funny. I was driving up here. I was like, I don't even remember his name because I've called him broom buddy for so long. And luckily, it was on your mailbox. It was I knew it, but I have called you that for so long. I was like, I remember Becky. But I was
Yeah,
like,
and at that time, I made the fancier handles. I had access to. I think you got a spiral handle or something, didn't you?
I got one of those beautiful coated handles. Like it was was it
It was I think a natural bark handle maybe
natural bark, and
with
then you put the
with the
epoxy or
yeah,
something on top of it.
Polyurethane.
Yeah, because it was like I couldn't believe that you could make it look that smooth on a handle. Because I was just at that time I got the clear coating in the can and I brushed it on,
Right.
and
I think I was dipping them, wasn't I?
you were dipping them. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had like a whole. This is how I know that because you ended up. I guess we just started talking, and then we ended up talking even more and getting to know each other. And you invited me over to show me how to make different brooms in your
Right.
broom shop. And you showed me all these really cool, like you put like a PVC pipe or something, and now
Yeah.
you had that.
I had a 2 inch. That wasn't big enough. I had to go to a 4. It takes a lot more polyurethane.
Mhm.
Dip it down in, you got to have the room for it to run out the top.
Yeah.
Because on the 2 inch, you'd run out the top if you stick your broom down too far.
right.
Oh yeah,
Too
yeah.
much in, so you had
Uh-huh.
more leeway with the 4 inch, but don't do a lot of those fancy handles anymore. It's kind of hard to. I can't find the spiral handles. I keep looking for people that would, find them for me or hunt them for me, and they say, "Oh yeah, we can do this. We can do." Nobody ever calls me back, so I kind of semi give. I still look and see them. Boy, we're driving through Tennessee. Yes, I wish I knew somebody here, but I don't want to trespass, especially when you're in Tennessee. So we just haven't had any success with the spiral, the fancy handles. And I got gobs of just the plain finish handles, like I call your hardware type thing,
Mhm.
and they work well. But I don't tromp around in the woods by myself anymore with my mobility issues. So
Right.
anyway, I still got 60 tree bark handles out there. I need to get finished up for get. Well, I haven't made any brooms for probably 2 months, but
It's been a while since I've actually like made a full kitchen sweeper broom.
Mhm.
I made a few hand brooms, but I got burnt out because I was doing it for so too long, I guess, if that makes sense. And I was working full time and then staying out in the garage, which I loved until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then
Mhm.
after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of burnt out on this, and now I have that craving to get back out there and do it again. Uh, yeah. Well, for those, we were talking about the spiral handles on brooms. I know we're just talking all kinds of stuff, but I figure this is how the episode probably is gonna go. I'm talking about the different handles. Ever since I started picking up broom making, my parents have the blessing of having every stick all around the trees and up against the barn that a limb's falling. I'm like, no, don't cut it up. Let me get the good stuff first. And so I've got gobs of handles I got to start working through.
and when I started, I thought I could put a broom on anything, which you can, but
Yeah.
everything shouldn't have a broom on it. I found out, some of the handles a lot more work and prep and got little bumps all over them. You gotta have a place to hang on to. The curves don't bother me much, but I know what kind of wood I had. I can show you when we go out to the shop.
Yeah.
I got some of, okay, I'm never gonna, I thought I was,
Don't throw it away.
I
We'll
thought,
send
yeah,
it home with you.
I just see my parents would love it.
Let's sneak this stick in.
They won't know. Oh my gosh, Andy Griffin.
should have turned my phone off.
Oh, you need to hang up on him now because you answered it. There you go. We can mute it.
Well, it could be. We have a special guest on the podcast today,
Andy Griffin.
calling from Mayberry.
I love that.
Only time my phone rings is when I'm trying to take a nap, which I can never take a nap. And I happen to fall asleep in the chair within 5 minutes, the phone rings
Oh my
and
gosh.
ruins my nap. So anyway,
That's always how it
Everybody loves
goes.
his ringtone.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it'll go off when we're out somewhere. It's like, Andy Griffin.
Andy Griffin.
I like
It's just this
Yeah.
is awesome. I love watching it. Grandpa on my mom's side would always watch it, and every time I come over, he goes, "I know how this ends," and he'd watch all of our expressions. Of course, we all pretty well know how everything ends on Andy Griffin,
Uh-huh,
but it was just so funny. He goes, "I know how this ends." He goes, "I've seen this."
Years ago, when Joe's parents lived here and we lived across the field, they would watch, was it Jeopardy?
yeah.
Jeopardy an hour earlier than we did. So Joe would be over here, and the one time in particular, he came home and we were watching Jeopardy. He was getting all the answers, and we're like, "What?" The kids were like, it took a little bit. We I don't know if you told us or if we figured it out. So there's no way he would know that.
It's just the most randomest question. I
That
love
was
that.
funny. You remember
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
you?
yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
So you guys have always lived in Indiana, right? Are you from here, or how did you guys? I actually don't know the answer to a lot of these questions.
My mom and dad moved here in February of 56.
Oh wow.
I was born here in July of 56.
Wow.
So I've been within
A
a
mile.
mile of this place all my life. I
Wow.
lived I've lived at 2 other places.
Oh.
So that's how I remember how long we've been here.
I grew up outside of Upland
Oh yeah.
on one of Purdue's research farms.
Your kid. That's so cool.
No, my dad was the manager of that particular farm, the Miller Purdue farm is what it was called. And so
Wow.
he kept track of crossbreeding cattle to get the largest calf with the heifer or cow that would birth the easiest and the best weight of cow. He tracked all of that.
Wow.
So every spring he helped deliver over 200 calves
Whoa. That's so
in like
cool.
March.
Oh.
Cold, icky weather, but that's when they were born. So we'd have on the off season we'd have fields of bulls, like 8 or 10 bulls out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would be with the cows, certain times. And so we would see bullfights out there in the field.
Whoa.
Sometimes they'd throw each other over the fence.
Wow.
And that's, there were horses on the property they were owned by Purdue, but we got to ride them
Mm-hmm.
and keep them in shape, I guess you'd say.
What
Because
a
we would get
cool.
up and help move the cattle from field to field.
Whoa.
And I remember actually getting to go late to school because we were helping. I know, right?
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So agriculture has always been a part of your guys' lives, like
Mhm.
ever since. Your parents were farming when they moved here, and
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to do, I'm assuming, or were they farmers before they moved?
They were my mom was a home extension agent at the time.
Oh wow.
And when they got married, she quit her job.
Mm.
My dad always farmed, always had to go off on his own and start by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up here, and the rest is all history.
Yeah. Has it always been field work, or has it been animals ever in your
We used to milk cows and we used to have hogs, but we haven't had cows since I can't remember when.
Mhm.
It's been a really long time, but we used to raise hogs and that kept getting bigger and bigger, and then when we had to make appointments to sell, it was about time to get out. So we
Mhm.
got out of that. There wasn't much future in that for us unless you put up 4,000 head building and contract fee. And I didn't want to do that. So
Mhm.
anyway, yeah, we've always been here, grain farm.
That's so cool. What is probably like the most misconception in agriculture, do you think? Outside looking into a farmer's life, what do you think would be?
Misconception. I guess I don't deal with enough people outside of agriculture.
Well, do you think
I don't know.
you got all the money in the world? Is that the answer?
Well, no, but we're happy.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think we're content.
I remember.
I don't think most people can say that.
Mhm.
I remember when spring is
Mhm.
approaching, and I would say, "Oh, it's getting lighter out all the time. Spring's almost here." And winter's when you get to kind of,
Mhm.
if you don't have an off the farm job, you do rest more. But he always like, "No, not yet. I'm not ready yet."
Wow.
So,
Which makes sense. So, can you take me through a season of on the farm, like what this looks like for you guys, or what it looked like as a kid differently? I mean, a lot of changes. Of course, machinery has changed a lot
Sure.
through over the years,
mhm.
but the basic concept of how you structured your guys' life around agriculture, how can you take me through a year of what that cycle of seasons?
Well, now, what stage of our life are we in now?
You could do whatever stage of life you wanna do, because I would love to hear is there a difference between stages, or is it the same concept throughout?
When I was a kid, we had cows, we had hogs, and we had livestock to take care of. We
Mhm,
baled straw, we baled hay,
mhm,
we planted corn, we planted soybeans, we had a little bit of everything.
mhm,
We specialized more when we got out of livestock, corn and soybeans, and last few years ended up mostly about all soybeans because I was a one-man show and it was easier for one person.
mhm,
We could, with the newer equipment, newer things, everything worked better
mhm.
that way.
What kinda tractor did you guys have?
We had an international harvester,
Yeah. I almost wore that hat today. I found
but
one.
it doesn't make any difference what kind of tractor you have. They all
Yeah.
work and do the job.
Yeah. I just like the way that it looks, quite frankly. It's one I don't know, ever since I can't
Mhm.
explain it. Ever since I saw one, I'm like, "That's a neat looking tractor." I love John Deere or whatever, but for some
Mhm.
reason, there's something
No,
about
and
international.
and we've never been brand
Mhm.
specific.
Mhm.
His tractor might be red, but the planter might be blue
Yeah.
or green
Yeah.
or yellow.
Well,
Any of
it's
that
about getting
is
the
whatever
job done.
works best for our situation.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever
For sure.
you can understand how it works, or you just
I had a guy tell me one time on combine, said, "The only one adjustment on every combine there is, that's the nut behind the wheel." And I always remembered that. I like that one.
It's
Because
funny.
it's true, if it's adjusted right and you're set right and you're driving the right speed.
Mhm.
Of course, with the technology today, the technology passed me 20 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm not a tech person, but all the they just combines going down the field now while they're harvesting the crop. The amount of air that's blowing through the sieves in the back to get the chaff out. It's monitoring how much grain's going out the back end because you always have a little bit, and it gets too much, it turns the air down.
Mhm.
And all that's happened automatically. You driving down with a big combine going down the field. That boggles my mind there. So, we went from driving a Ford tractor with a coal packer on spring plowed ground with my first job when I was 7.
well,
And that's when I started. And didn't no, like I say, no power steering, no cab. Your left foot was, the exhaust pipe was right underneath your left foot. I had to stand up to get it out of gear, to get it stopped, to get the clutch down.
Oh,
But that was not uncommon. I know people that started driving before then.
mhm.
But that was my first job.
mm,
Then when we finished up, I had a tractor that had auto steer on it. You satellite guidance, you set your AB line, and it beeps when you get into the end. You can talk on your phone, turn around, look backwards, so long as you don't bump the steering wheel, it'll keep driving just like you want it to.
Mhm.
That's kind of hard. I never thought I'd ever have a tractor like that, but we did.
Wow.
And it's nice when everything works.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it doesn't work, no, I can't fix it. I gotta have they gotta bring some seventh grader out here that knows how to fix that stuff. Climb up in your tractor cab and push buttons so fast, and they don't know how they keep track of all of it. Yeah, it's all nice when it works, and it has made people more efficient.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you think man, I have 2 directions I can take this. I was thinking about my friend Buckeye, that's her nickname, just like Broom Buddy. Don't ask me her actual name. I do know her actual name, I'm just teasing. But
Mhm.
she's in her 80s, late 80s, kind of mid to late 80s. And she remembers horse and plow because her family in the time down in Carmel in Indy area, that's where she's from, and she had this family they had a family first, growing up, they had, horses and ponies because they had, um, like, a day camp for kids in the summer. It was the first day camp.
Okay.
And it's called Acorn. It's no longer a day camp anymore, but, there's an antique shop there and stuff like that,
Mm.
and she remembers even in town in Indy how there was still a blacksmith on the corner, like, there just
Mhm.
little things before big development was happening, which is crazy because you really think about that 80 years ago,
Mhm.
it isn't that far back. Well, I mean, it's a long life, don't get me wrong. But
Right.
when you, in the whole scheme of things, when you're looking at, I'm like, wow, that was only just last century. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just so
Oh, yeah.
cool
Uh-huh.
about the things. Do you think, do you think a young person now that doesn't come from agriculture, and wants to get into farming, do you think it's something that is still a possibility around here? Because it's really looking outside, looking in, it seems, of course, very expensive, different kind of stress, I'm sure. I mean, it's different than having a garden and a small homestead, I think, because you're depending fully on this as your money, unless you said an off the farm job too, I guess.
Mhm.
But do you think it's a chance now?
Well, years ago, I heard people saying it wasn't possible, yet people were still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd have to find somebody that doesn't have family and has land,
Mm-hmm.
and get help, somebody that help you
Mhm.
get started, let you use equipment or swap equipment, for your
Mhm.
labor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And if you're really good, they might end up renting you your farm, but there's not a lot of people out around to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be I'll never say it's impossible because there's always somebody gonna be able to do it, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, there's different areas you can branch into. You go into the specialized stuff. It's, truck farming, growing sweet corn is pretty profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a specialty crop. A specialty crop has to be treated different. Things have to be so. And you figure if you're getting, I don't know how much. You get $10 a dozen, you figure out, 30,000 plants per acre, what that is, you're getting $10 a dozen. There's a lot of cash there.
Mm-hmm.
Also have all, mechanical pickers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And all this, that means all your sweet corn that you're picking has to get up at the same time. You got different stages that you plant it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you gotta have markets and stuff like that. So to say it's not possible, I won't say that, but say it's gonna be easy. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of obstacles to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are your thoughts? What do you think what do you think is the saying, maybe somebody who's newlyweds and about to be a farm wife, you might say, or
Mhm.
maybe, there's a lot of people who marry into farming, and a lot of couples now these days, there's a whole, people are going back to the old ways a lot. They're starting homesteads, they're starting to farm, whether it's just, and homesteads as in, they're trying to make a profit off of what they're doing, but it's really about being home and creating a space. What do you think is something that you would tell a fellow farm wife? What do you think would be your what
Oh
advice?
my.
No, keep quiet.
Mm. Well, don't try to keep up with the Joneses.
True. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You, I always was a person who liked to thrift,
Mm-hmm.
so thrifting is good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, be flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I kind of spring questions,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
sometimes
know.
if you think of something, we can always go
Mhm.
back. I do think the idea of like not keeping up with the Joneses in general is such a great thing,
Mhm.
especially these days when you can see everybody's life
Mhm.
and see what they're doing,
Right.
and I heard it said and just in general, I've heard it said like you never know what that person went through to get this or to do that. You like somebody might be driving a nice car, but they're in debt for they're keeping on a good facade.
Mhm.
Or, vice versa. It was a hardship that got them there, and they worked
Mhm.
really hard to get that thing. And I feel like what do you think our society and our maybe I don't want to say generationals. I know that times change but I don't want to the whole idea with this podcast is to bridge that gap between generations.
Mhm.
And I don't want to dog any generation. I just want advice for younger generations coming up. What are some things that help, what are I guess the best way is what changes have you seen in society's character that really would help somebody's day-to-day life? Because you talk about not keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, it's a character thing to say I'm content with who I am, what I have. I mean, it's hard.
Right. Yeah. I'd say probably the biggest thing is avoid spending more than what you bring in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I mean, that's the easiest way
Yeah.
to save money if you need to save money. And we know people that eat out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really sit down and look at what's going out,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy a small farm with that,
Yeah.
literally, in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like to eat out. I like to not cook sometimes, but
Our biggest
it's not
problem
every
with eating
day.
out is we have better tasting food here at home than we get when we go eat out.
Because you grow a lot of your food here.
I
Right.
mean,
When we eat out, it's for convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pack everything.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, we
Yeah.
packed everything that we pretty much ate if we went somewhere
Wow.
because we
You-
just couldn't
you
afford to
ever-
eat.
if I go to a restaurant, I see macaroni and cheese, I find one that's not going to taste like what Becky makes. It never does. I'm always disappointed. It doesn't make any difference where it's at. It's not what I'm
Won't
used
name
to.
names. No.
Luckily, they're not the sponsor. No.
Right.
Or, the potato soup's not going to taste like what she made. I mean, I
Mhm.
remember being at this one restaurant, this town about 2 hours away,
Mhm.
little hole in the wall place that everybody went to, and they had it had changed hands, and
Mhm.
I ordered potato soup. Well, I think you could have used it for wallpaper paste, and you couldn't have told the difference. I mean, it was the worst tasting potato soup I'd ever had in my life.
It stick
I
real
mean,
good.
the soupy part wasn't. I mean, there was nothing good about it. I don't think that crew lasted too long, but that's the thing I got to get used to is what I eat at home is better than what we buy at the store. And we still like going to, an ice cream place not too far away.
Mhm.
We don't go real often because we can make homemade ice cream. Becky's recipe has 4 ingredients: cream, milk, sugar, and vanilla.
Uh-huh.
That's all it's in it. I
I've
think
had your ice cream before.
That's right.
it's as
I
good.
almost-
good.
It's
I
as
almost
good.
was gonna throw. I can throw some in right now.
Right down.
With eating out, that's my biggest problem.
Mhm.
What I'm
Got
eating.
lower expectations.
Lower, just in general in life.
Just in
Lower
general.
expectations.
Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. It's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
when
that
our
was
girls
good.
were in college, we were critiquing the food at the cafeteria, which, it would my mom called it what she called that?
Institutional.
Institutionalized food. She was a home economics person, which she was right, and she understood why you had to make it in large batches and you couldn't make it like you did at home. Well, my youngest daughter said we were critiquing the food there one time,
And it
and
was pretty good
it,
food.
it was it
It
for
was good food.
institutionalized food. It was really quite good. And she looked at us and said, "You guys are food snobs." And I thanked her. I said, "Well, thank you very much. We certainly are, because we're used to eating the good stuff. We weren't aiming to be critical of everything. We just, we take a bite of something. What's missing in this? And then I think, it's just that's just the way it is when we go to eat out. I've had to lower my expectations quite a bit.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was gonna remember our son Michael when he was little. Not little. He was like a teenager. He would he ate a lot. And so our girls were 8 and 10 years younger. And I'm getting my stories crossed here. One of his sayings would say, if I'd say, oh, this didn't really turn out like I thought it was going to. I said, well, at least it's food.
Yeah.
And he would eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is something about like growing up, Mama and Papa always raised a garden, and I
Mhm.
can remember. I mean, and she has the perfect plot. Grow like I could just think if I ever get land, like that's the kind of plot I would
Mhm.
love to do. It's the perfect size. It's big, but it's not oversized. Like
Mm.
perfect amount for a two-person household. And more. Like, let's just be
Sure.
honest, because it's
Right.
the way stuff comes in. But I can remember, I mean, the worst part is weeding around onions, which there's other routes. I have learned how to go about that. But I remember picking trash bags of green beans and bringing it up the house and snapping it. And like, I think we've lost the connection between food and when you grow it yourself and when you do, because I grow a garden too, it's nothing like that anymore. I used to grow a big one all the time, and let's be honest, a kid's extent like attention span, even in high school, I had, I was still doing,
Right.
teenager things. So I was like, I would grow it and it'd be great for a very long time and we'd get a big harvest, but I wouldn't always keep it weeded. And so, but there's something about it tastes better when you go out and like just picking. I used to go and eat like a pepper off, like literally like an apple, because it just tastes so good compared to the store that's been coming in trucks. Now, here's the thing though, we talk about agriculture.
Right.
We need farmers that are producing these at high yields like that.
Right.
And so like it's hard because there is that balanced. I mean, not everybody can, whether it be age or whatever it might be, grow a garden all the time and produce enough food. It
It's
isn't.
not necessarily cheaper to grow a garden.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's like you
If you
buy a
figure,
can of green beans for, I don't even know what it is because
Mhm.
I don't
if
know
you
the
figure
last
your
time I bought
time,
a can of green beans. That's crazy.
if your time's worth
Awesome.
anything, you're losing money on the garden. You just are. You're gardening because you like the process.
Just like
Mm.
quilting.
Yeah.
Exactly like quilting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Is that a segue into
That is a segue.
I think that's a great segue. Let's go into this. Let's talk about some of those skills. We talk about gardening, but there's some skills that become both art and I mean, all the things that we make started off as something of necessity, not everything that we make, but it usually starts off of craftiness, needing something. But you have been quilting have you been doing that your entire life, or is this something
Um,
recently?
Actual quilting has come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
I started sewing when I started 4-H when I was 10.
That's cool.
I didn't really want to do it, but Mom made me do it because that's what we did in our field. So I was in sewing for a couple of years, and then I was making other things. I don't want to just go make a skirt. I want to make what I want to make. So I stopped 4-H. And
Because she was making her own clothes.
so I was just, oh, my mom knew my mom knew I had the sewing gene, I guess you would say, when we had a family reunion the next day, and I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning to finish making a shirt to wear to the reunion.
Really?
Like I didn't have any other thing I could wear, but I
Oh my
wanted to
gosh.
wear that. So I
Eh,
was a teenager,
Yeah.
summertime, so
Yeah.
whatever. But so I knew I loved to sew. I love puzzles. I love putting things together like that. And she was a good teacher and didn't make me rip out every tiny stitch like her mom did to her.
Oh God.
My grandma was a perfectionist
Oh really?
to the nth degree with her music and her sewing. Um, but my mom did. She never learned how to play the piano, but she knows how to sew.
Yeah. It sounds like it would have been a tough time to learn to play piano under
Yes.
that kind of like
Yes.
perfectionism.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's just her life was her music. But yeah, mom sewed her wedding dress. She sewed everything. She sewed almost everything we wore. I
What?
remember trying on an outfit with my eyes closed so she could make it for me for Christmas.
How cool. That's so sweet.
I
And I
can't
remember
believe
what it was too.
I can't believe you actually kept your eyes
I did. I
You actually
absolutely did. Yes.
because if I cooked, she's looking through the wastebasket to see what I put in when she
Because you never know what you
Yeah,
might
no,
throw in there.
I might stuff in. I'd taken cans to the barn to the recycling barrels and buried them underneath so she wouldn't find them.
Who knows where he's got buried all over
I
the
know.
place at this point.
And she ate it and liked it fine, I just noticed, yeah, she's kind of
Very observant. Let's put it that way.
yeah, observed. That's the kind way to put it. Yeah,
She'll call me when I'm at the store. Say, "Do you know where my glasses are?" It's like, well, they're on this shelf out in the garage. Literally, something like that has happened several times.
Oh my God.
Right here.
right. Well,
Right.
one thing is the guy you figure out. Once your wife knows where you keep stuff, she moves it so you can't find it. So you have to come back and ask her where it was, and she'll tell you, "Oh, I moved that 6 months ago." Well, you just got it, a week ago, and went back to find the same place. It's not there. So,
He's
you know,
great.
I think there might be memory disorder somewhere, maybe on both sides. But
It's enough to keep them wrangled in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
And this is
Right.
this is coming from
That dog wants to feel needed.
yeah, yeah, I get that. Grandma told a story once of Papa with his glasses, and
Mhm.
he came into the house. I mean, he was out in the wood shop. He
Mhm.
came into the house, uh, just tearing things up trying to find his glasses. He could not find. Finally he goes, "Faye, where is my glasses? I cannot find them anywhere." And she just sat there. She goes, "Well, have you looked in the mirror?" And they
on
were
top of his head.
on top of his head the whole time.
Uh-huh.
He had them on. You
Yeah.
couldn't find them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. So you were making your clothes.
Making clothes. Went away to school. Things happen, whatever, have kids. So make clothes for kids. And rather than me, I was making clothes for our
Oh,
kids.
that's so cool.
And there was one period of time where I didn't have a sewing machine. And so I learned to knit. I taught myself how to knit so I could make something, do something with my hands. I
Where do you think that
I just
need to create comes from? I think
maybe it just keeps my hands busy.
oh,
I just like
idle hands.
idle
And
hands.
such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And she loves figuring out terrible instructions. She's never seen a bad set of instructions in her life. She can figure it out. And what about this right here? Well, don't pay attention to that. Well, what's it in there for if we're not supposed to pay attention for it? She knows.
this
So
way. No.
I just leave that instructions
So
to her.
you're not the one to look at the instructions, but she is. So if you got a box to
I
shelf,
I will ask directions.
okay.
I don't like not going where I'm going. If I don't think I'm going where I'm supposed to be, I'm looking for a place to stop and ask. Because with Google,
Just
you don't.
give me a second. I'll figure it out. I said, no, we're pulling in here. Find it out. That was before GPS. Now it's pretty easy, but
It's pretty simple now.
yeah. But I don't know, but maybe that's my legalistic mind that I want to follow instructions.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Apply that in a lot of different ways, but yeah.
There's difference between instructions and a good set of instructions. We bought a footstool one time. And it had 4 legs on it. You could not put the legs in the wrong hole.
Screwed in.
They were all cut. They only went one way. They were all the same. There was one screw that went through. There's a page and a half of instructions on how to put that together. And it's like, put leg in the hole. Like, you couldn't get it in wrong. It wasn't possible. Turn the bolt clockwise until it's tight. And we had all these, I got reading these instructions.
That
I
was
said,
funny.
oh my goodness. Somebody's trying to keep their job and make this complicated. They must be getting paid by the hour to anyway.
Then the things that really need instructions have like 2 lines.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I had like
Like
a
your
picture
phone.
bigger than
How
this.
do you know your phone does all this stuff? I've never seen a sentence. I ask my kids, my wife, how do you know that? Oh, we just play with it till we figure it out.
That's true. Come to think about that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I dial emergency on my phone and never intend to. I've had to, okay, reset. I look at it, it says emergency, I don't want 911, so I cancel,
Yeah. Did they show up to the house?
No.
Sometimes
Nobody's ever showed up.
You didn't actually push the final button.
Oh,
I didn't push the final button.
That's happened to me too.
Yeah, I've hit the where it like does that.
When we were down at Lillian's, I put the phone in the pocket of her lawn chair.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was pushing all the buttons.
Yeah.
I kept looking to it. 911, what is it? For emergencies.
What is
So
it?
I take it out
Yeah.
and I put it back. Finally, the 3rd time I figured it out. I was like, oh,
Oh my God.
okay.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah, I know what you mean. So how did you get into doing more quilts? I mean, making clothes.
I think I know I just made a basic quilt for Michael when he was little.
Mhm.
And he's from my first marriage. And when Joe and I got married, I wanted to make a quilt for the bed.
Mhm.
I thought, because I didn't want back then. It seemed like the comforters or whatever in the store were more expensive. And I thought, I'll just make something.
Mhm.
And so it turned into a quilt.
Mhm.
So I made a quilt and I hand quilted that one
Oh,
because I didn't know that my machine at the time probably couldn't do. I didn't know how to do machine quilting. So I hand quilted that one. All summer it's hot. This whole quilt hanging all over you. It's like, I'm going to get it done.
Mhm.
So I got that done. And
But
then,
before that, you recovered her couch.
well, at one point I did upholstery too.
She
really?
I
put new,
recovered couches,
she bought
reconfigured it. And
she bought blue material that was plaid. It had cushions, and the cushions matched going both ways. The plaid did. How you figure that out, I have no idea.
Oh my God.
It just blows my mind. But I look at that, and it matched going up the armrest,
Mhm.
and it matched going up the back of at the top of the couch. Your cushion did. I just shook my head.
it was a small plaid. So
Yeah,
It wasn't like a big
it
one.
wasn't like it was an even plaid, so it was the same going both ways.
Okay.
So that does help.
Yeah.
It's still the mindset. Why not just make it one? It looked great.
Yeah.
It did.
Mhm.
I showed it to everybody.
Mhm.
Let's see this here. And everybody saw the same
Or the
thing.
cushions on a rocker, I'd recover that.
Mhm.
Just did all that thrifting stuff.
Mhm.
And then I was into making clothes for the kids. I did that for a number of years till they got to be teenagers, and it really wasn't as important to them.
Yeah.
And they had more opinions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And part of the neat thing of that is you have outfits that our girls wore that our granddaughter wears.
That
at least one,
So-
because she
But
grew so fast.
Becky May.
Oh my. Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's pretty neat to get those pictures and say, "Here, your
yes.
mom used
Your
to
mom
wear
wore
that."
this when she was little.
Oh my.
So that's fun. I remember counting. It's kind of embarrassing. I remember counting in our daughters are 20 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get a lot of clothes out of a yard of fabric
Mm-hmm.
when they're little. Anyway, I counted in their closet one time and I had 50 items that I had made hanging in their closet.
How cool. But that's
But
so
it was,
cool.
of course, fabric was a lot cheaper then too.
Yeah, no, it's the
But
whole thing.
but anyway, or I might reuse
Mm-hmm.
like a shirt and make something out of it.
Yeah.
I do that all the time too.
Well, you did my first quilt. I had taken 4-H and that made I think a pillowcase and shorts, but it was
Mm-hmm.
not my sort of thing. In 4-H, it's just too stressful. I'm like, you're gonna judge my pants. I'm
I
like,
know.
please don't judge. I'm like, I'm only like 4. Like, I don't know how old I was, but I'm like, I can remember my aunt helped us because she
Uh-huh.
was a part of the 4-H like committee or whatever.
Sure.
And I remember the thing is I didn't have that kind of patience as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
especially. But I could remember I like the smell of how the iron and every time I smell it, I'm like, that takes me right back to working on it and all the ironing of every single piece. Yeah.
Oh,
Now I have a lot more patience.
yes. Yes.
But that was for clothes more than anything to iron.
One of our daughters, as a toddler, was extremely picky about what she would wear.
Mm-hmm.
Becky be holding her, getting something out, and she'd be going, She
Nope.
didn't want that. Don't get that one.
She wanted that one.
She knew what she wanted, and she wasn't going to wear the other one.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, but it just, yeah,
Anyway, it was fun to
it
create
was
their
interesting
clothes.
to
Yeah.
see that and hear about it.
And then I kind of got out of quilting and I was working about that time I was working full time
Mm-hmm.
and the kids were in school and so I didn't sew for quite a few years really.
We
But
did more produce than we were
we
looking.
did produce and I did flower beds.
Mm-hmm.
I got into flowers. So I did that. And then I think I started quilting again. We had a family at church that was having a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, I don't want to just go to the store and buy something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, the shower is 2 days away. Maybe I have some fabric. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
make something.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And I thought, that was fun.
Yeah.
And I found out I could quilt it on my machine, just basic
Yeah.
quilting. And I kind of got it started. So every time I knew somebody was having a baby, I would make a quilt.
Cool.
Or a family member or a close friend or something. And oh, we got a call from Lillian.
I answer it. It's you gotta answer it.
It's a FaceTime, so you can see our granddaughter.
So beautiful.
She's
And did we send you pictures of her holding her head up when she's 14 days?
14. No.
later.
Yeah, you're excited.
Oh,
Your grandparents. This is exciting.
At 14 days, they got her on just like she was obeying command. You pick your head up. She does. Then she's like she's doing a push up. I mean, her head comes up, not just up. It comes like, and they start. Her and her sister are there.
Mhm.
She's making a break for it. They were laughing
Oh.
so hard. Picking, and she does stuff now. I mean, pushes heavy chairs across the floor, picks up her diaper bag thing.
Oh my
Like that's
goodness.
like it's nothing.
No drinking.
I'm okay. You're
Okay.
Feel free to.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tell people, the picking your head up at 14 days was no fluke.
Yeah.
She just always been naturally strong.
Yeah.
She didn't walk exceptionally early or anything, but she was taller than most kids. So anyway, it's been extremely fun.
Yeah. First time grandparents, right?
No, actually, our son in Tennessee has 2.
2. But it's
They're
closer. So it's
first
a
time
different
close.
close.
The
Yeah.
first time we get to see him like every 2 weeks, not 3
So
times a year.
that's so
It's
fun though. That's
yeah.
amazing. What's the best part? Well, since we've kind of just started, I'm gonna to the audience. It's gonna be like nothing, but
Mhm.
they just got a phone call from their granddaughter, basically a FaceTime, and I loved it so much. But what's the best part about being grandparents? What do you think's the best part? And we'll get back to the other stuff.
Well, it keeps getting better. When they're little, they're just fun to hold, and you actually can't hold her.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, if she wants down,
Mm-hmm.
I can't hold her. Her mom can't hold her. When she wants
Well,
down, you put her down. You know,
yeah.
uh, I,
I love seeing the parents, how they interact with.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, I know our daughter does a lot of research and
Mm-hmm.
has taught her husband different things. Like, you don't have to give her everything she wants
Mm-hmm.
right when she wants it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for her to be frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
and she's figured that out, and he's learning. It's like, oh, never thought of that, but
Yeah.
yeah, and the way she loves to eat.
my,
Lillian, her mom, is really good at getting her all kinds. She might eat 10 different items in a day,
Oh my
different,
goodness.
just a wide variety, and trying a lot of different things. And she makes a lot of things. She doesn't buy a lot of baby food type stuff, but a few things. But anyway, she's always been a good cook too.
and she'll let her try something, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't throw it off the list. She'll wait a week and try it again.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll try maybe 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Then she says, "Oh, I've had this. This is okay."
Mm-hmm.
Cucumber. They're giving her cucumber. I don't like cucumber myself. You could pay me to eat one, but they were giving her a chunk of cucumber. I don't know that she liked it or not, but just trying. They don't let her watch TV, or she doesn't have an iPad, any of that stuff at this age, and she creates her own games.
Mm-hmm.
She eats a lot. I mean,
She's growing. That's why she's so tall.
sweet potato, cottage cheese, quesadillas. This is one meal.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, the amount of food, but when if she's not sleeping or eating, she's moving.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing something. I look forward to when I can sit down beside her and talk to her, and she answers my questions. She
Mm-hmm.
liked sitting for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. But right now, hearing her say "Papa" about makes me melt and run down my shoes. So it's pretty special. Just watching them grow up, each stage they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Joe will say, like, I don't remember our kids doing that. So, well, back to the farming. He was out working,
Oh
doing
yeah.
stuff when he missed some of those things, or
Mm-hmm.
he was tired or
Mm-hmm.
stressed out or whatever, and maybe didn't see it because so he may not remember some of that stuff that our girls did some of the things, same types of things. Um,
That's such a good point. I feel like that's what's amazing about grandparents is like they do get to almost have a
mhm,
second look at childhood
right,
and in the best form because
right.
they're there and
It's like,
can just be present and they don't
right.
have too much to worry. I mean,
We
we
don't
don't
have to
have
make all the
yeah, don't
decisions.
have to make all the
Like,
decisions. You're not working all the time and
Grandparents have time.
yeah. That's one thing I'm excited about mom and dad. And
mhm,
we just had my sister's baby shower
okay.
and she's due at the end of August.
See, it's a boy.
It's a
It's
boy.
a boy.
And
Oh, and they had girls. So,
yeah, dad doesn't care that it was
no,
that we were girls or like
no,
don't care
no.
either way, but I think he's excited to have a little boy around the house and something
Yeah.
new and
Uh-huh.
exciting. And but it's cool to watch my parents like kind of shift a little
Mhm.
bit. Like you start seeing them in a different light and watching them a little bit different and seeing my sister turn into a mother is so cool.
Right.
I mean, she's always been with kids, but it's so
Okay.
cool to see as far as like she's a teacher, so she's so good
okay.
with kids.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like it's different that she gets to experience something
Mhm.
she's always wanted.
Mhm.
And it's exciting to see
Mhm.
that happen. And it's really cool. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see both of them in that light. And it's gonna be good.
Yes.
They're gonna
When
be
do they do again?
at the end of August.
End of August. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I don't think the kid's gonna be any trouble. I think my parents are gonna be the ones that are out of hand. This is the fun part. I love that so much.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
It is.
I guess before we did the photo, I was gonna have the last little bit on some of the crafting stuff because I wanted to get into some of the history behind. I do need to know how many quilts you think you made in your so far.
Oh my.
If you had to estimate, now understand she's got a whole quilting room, too. By the way,
Mhm.
and the closets are amazingly full. Are they still full of material?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course. What am I crazy? I literally have so much material that I need to start working through.
Yeah. How many quilts have I? Well, I know I have 30 right now that are for sale.
They have a business, by the way. Did I mention that? I can't remember. They have a
think so.
business. They have a business.
Another segue.
Another segue with their brooms and their quilts. But I'll make sure to put a link in here. But
Okay.
yeah, say your business name so I want to think about it.
It's Hartley Handmade.
Hartley Handmade.
Brooms and quilts.
Brooms and quilts.
we usually share a 10 by 10 booth
Yeah.
somehow.
It's beautifully laid out every single time. I mean,
We
when
love
I've seen
having
it.
a little extra room, but if we don't, we make it work.
I love it. It's like the best thing to walk into.
Yeah.
20 quilts for sale now.
30.
30 quilts.
Of various sizes. Oh man. I probably could get you a number, but it's probably a couple hundred.
Couple hundred. That's so cool.
Because I write everything down.
You do? You keep
Yeah,
a doc?
do.
I love it. See, I got this book that has like you take a swatch of each material and it's like I guess a quilting diary or however it
Okay,
is,
sure.
and what it was for and like when you made it and like whatever. And I need to do that with my grandpa's material so that I have that in there.
Yeah.
Grandma of course still has it, but when Papa passed away, they put it on the side of his casket. And that was really cool because with that embroidery, right, I want to say that right, where I wrote "I love you, Papa"
Yeah, right.
on it. It looks so good, and it was actually his colors. You know, it's hard to. I was like, how do you make a quilt that is manly enough, but not like too just trying too hard? And that brown and orange, I think, really fit. And that was like his favorite colors, and I didn't even realize that was part of his favorite things.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
wow.
A source of fabric is men's shirts.
That's
Like a Goodwill or a thrift store, especially a thrift store that does like a bag sale or something. There's so much good fabric in men's shirts.
Oh yeah.
I actually have 2 whole boxes of all men's shirt fabric.
So he's like, yeah.
But most of them is I condensed it into 2 bigger boxes. Smaller ones just yesterday.
You can't once you get bitten by the bug and you see it. I haven't made one since Pap. I have started some, but I had Ashley borrow my sewing machine, let her borrow it for something, and I left it's just a traveler's, and I left it in my car, and I forgot it was in my trunk when I pulled out, and it's hit, and so now it won't sew. So I don't know if I hit it out. It must be out of timing because it's just jammed. So I'm like, do I throw it against the wall and see what happens and bang it with a hammer and see if it'll work? No, I need to get it fixed. But yeah, so now I have so much fabric that I got to tell you something once we get off the podcast about fabrics that I need to bring over for you to see. It's insane. Okay, sorry.
Fabric.
I did.
I made this when I retired.
My God, they're little. What do you call those?
This is like a placemat.
Placemat. I was gonna call it dish mat.
And it's totally, nothing goes together, but I retired May 12th, 2023.
That's so cool. It's like
It's like a celebration. It's like,
I love it with all kinds of different colors. But that's the thing about
Scrapping, just
quilting is like when you don't think it goes together, somehow it all goes together. All the
Mhm.
colors can be totally crazy. The patterns can be crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Man.
So, most of the quilts I make to sell.
Mhm.
Usually I make things I like.
Mhm.
I don't want to work with something I don't like the fabric usually.
Yeah.
But I have 3 quilts that I don't plan to sell unless I could sell for a lot.
A lot of them. It's hard to price a quilt because people don't realize how much, even if you do it on a sewing machine, not to mention people that still do it by hand and sell them.
Right.
Like
Just-
it's a lot of
Just the
time
time.
and
Yes.
and materials, like you said, are expensive.
Mhm.
How do you price something like that? I mean, that's hard.
I know I underprice things.
Yeah, usually handmade goods are underpriced.
Yeah.
Or completely up.
If you count time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would almost pay to do it. So
When you love it that
yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I just finished 2 baby quilts for a client,
mhm.
and they probably each took about 10 or 12 hours, maybe at the most. They were fairly simple. Um, so I might be made $10 an hour.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Heck,
not. I mean, if I
if you really, yeah.
if I really look at it that way.
That's a good. It's hard to price things because people are so disconnected with the talent of it all. Like
Mhm. But if they want it, if they like it, they'll buy it.
they will.
Really
That's
do.
the thing.
I love going to our shows and someone who really, it's like, I'm going to buy a quilt. I want to buy a quilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they could go to Walmart and buy a $30 quilt
Yeah.
of some sort, but
Yeah.
they appreciate that craft.
And there's something quality wise that comes in into play. Not, I mean, you can buy really nice quilts at the store. I'm
Yes,
not saying that,
right.
but when you really want that feel that people are looking for in a quilt, not a duvet or whatever you call that. Duvet? What's it's called? The blankets where they're duvet covers.
Duvet.
There we go. I was going to get it at some point. Listen, after I talk for a long time, there's no way getting the right words out half the time. But it's much more lighter. Like it doesn't have that same quilt feel
Right.
as something like this feels like a quilt. This is like a real
Right.
feeling to it. But yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I must have drank. I got excited.
Another fun thing that I like to do, when our grandkids from Tennessee, they usually come up and spend a week with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll always spend a day back in the sewing room.
Mm-hmm.
They're 7 and 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They love just playing with the straps, and they'll just use the scissors and just cut pieces down to nothing,
Oh my
just for
gosh.
fun.
Just for fun.
And last year we made a pillow cover for him, and they got to pick out of my scraps,
Mhm.
and it was fun to see what kind of things they picked out.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't really go, but they don't care.
They
They
don't
like
care.
that fabric. Let's put it in there.
That's creativity. Like
Yeah.
we get
And they
too
were
much
very
in our
different, but they
yeah.
got to pick their own fabric, and they loved doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we made this little tote bag, like to carry books in or something.
That's cool.
And they got to pick out the fabric. We didn't use scraps this time. We used whole pieces of fabric, and
they got to
they
choose.
got to coordinate it however they wanted, and
That's
they loved
cool.
it.
Every quilt that I had ever seen at your shows, and when you've helped me with my quilts, or like, and you've taken me through some of your stuff, they're amazing. They're beautiful. And I want my listeners to make sure they check out you guys, because I'm telling you, if it's not the quilt that you're looking for at the time, you're going to find something that is going to catch your eye. That's the thing. It's like
Or we can make special orders.
special orders. Look at you getting all businessy. I like it. I like it. Well, so the other part, quilts and brooms, we talked about this. I would talk all day. That's the thing. We could do more at some
Mhm.
point. We'll have to do some more. I would love to do like a video form of some of your
Mhm.
projects, like take you guys around, like my listeners around and show them some of the projects that you're working on and
Yeah.
like things like would be really cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
That'd be fun.
but uh like we talked at the beginning, how we met was just going into your booth and seeing those brooms and seeing the quilts. How did you get I know the history, but how did you get into
Mhm.
broom making? Because you've showed me some of the history of how you guys got started.
Well, I'm a third generation broom maker. My grandfather Hartley made brooms, and he made brooms on the shares. People grew their own broom corn, harvested it, and brought it to him.
Mhm,
He took all the seed out, spread it out, and it was dry when he got it.
mhm,
It got the different lengths because all broom corn is not the same length.
mhm,
And if he had enough broom corn to make 20 brooms, he kept 10.
mhm,
That way he always had brooms to sell.
mhm,
He didn't have to grow it. So anyway, but my grandfather Hartley had all the equipment. He passed away in 1960. And my dad got a phone call from his mom, and she wanted to know if my dad wanted Pop's broom making equipment. He said yes, and went down and picked it up. But being a typical farmer, he had no hobbies,
mhm,
didn't have time for hobbies. So it's all this set in the corner of the garage for 30 some years.
mhm,
So he decided, it was time for him to start making brooms. That was something he could do.
mhm,
So we didn't have, the internet then, to look and figure out how to do it. Grandpa had let him do everything but wind a broom.
mhm,
But anyway, he figured that out. What he was leaving something out when he first started, and he improved his craft. He didn't have anybody to teach him.
mm,
So anyway, and my dad showed me one time how to make one broom, and at that time I was busy, really wasn't ready to start making brooms.
mhm,
And anyway, when Dad died, and, uh, then I started making brooms, and we had internet then, and I got looking online and found a guy down in Mountain View, Arkansas, that made the most artistic brooms I'd ever seen. And I I got a hold of him, found out he gave lessons. I couldn't go when he normally gave lessons, so I went down in January and got 4 or 5 days of individual lessons from
oh,
this
wow.
guy. Learned a lot of stuff. I don't make brooms exactly like he does. There's
Mhm,
more than one way to make a broom. They
mhm,
are all correct.
mhm,
But I learned the basics and why his brooms look so uniform, and
mhm,
because he had a recipe card on all of them. He
mhm,
weighed out the bundles, all that, different lengths, and put them together. He does a lot of fancy stuff.
mhm,
He dyes his own broom corn. I don't think I'm gonna get into doing that, but I picked up from what he did and kinda did my own thing.
mhm,
I've kinda moved away from the fancy stuff because the guy I don't want dyeing broom corn's pretty caustic. You gotta have the right equipment, the right ventilation, and I just don't wanna do that, I don't think.
no,
So I'm kinda more into the plain brooms.
mhm,
Uh, I I you don't get a lot of resale customers because if you got a good broom, they last.
yeah,
So anyway, that's a good thing. I know when I started making brooms, a lady came up to me and I told her, well, oh, she was so glad that she had one of my dad's brooms, uses it every day. She just loved it. And I got thinking that broom at that time had to probably be 17 years old.
mhm,
It'd been around for a long time.
mhm,
But like I say, if they don't get rained on, you don't run over them with a lawnmower, they're gonna last.
Yeah.
I won't say you can't buy a good broom at a store. I know the Lions Club sells a very good broom.
Mhm.
I've seen their brooms, would never criticize anybody else's broom,
Mhm.
but all brooms are not the same.
Mm.
Uh, like you say, that's just, um, some of them. If you when you break them down, take it apart, they've made them as cheap as they can. Whoever was operating the machine wasn't paying attention.
Mhm.
There's just little stuff like that, but,
Mhm.
uh, that's how I got started. Um, I found a guy online first that made brooms like my grandfather made brooms. So I watched him on how to make them, and then I found this guy in Arkansas,
Mhm.
and I've been to other broom makers
Mhm.
places and looked at how they did
Mhm.
and learned. I don't make brooms like any one of them,
Mhm.
but they all make good brooms, and you
Mhm.
back your product. And I have people that come up to me, "I bought one of your brooms 3 years ago. It looks just like it did the day I brought it home."
Mhm.
And I say, "Well, you're hanging it up every time when you get done using it, aren't you?" "Yep, I am."
Mhm.
And then some of them are the fancy brooms that look pretty
Mhm.
hanging,
Mhm.
and some of 'em are just plain brooms, you just
Mhm.
sweep dirt or snow or whatever.
Mhm.
But that's how I got started.
Mhm.
So,
That's the cool I love the history of it, and that's what I'm saying, like, what are the chances of a young broom maker like me who just fell in love with it out of nowhere, and then, you know the thing about what's really cool is you can learn everything you can online, like that, these days, but, like, I was craving a community that, people that I could learn from in person and like meet and talk about and people that get excited about broom corn just as much as like I get excited about, an idea of styling of a broom. And by the way, I have a really cool idea. I'm not going to give it away to my listeners because let's just say this broom alone is going to, with the materials that I have, already cost me over $200 to make, and it's gonna take so much time to make, but let's just say it's
Mhm.
gonna be really cool. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's gonna be my art piece broom. That's my hope, is that it would be, like, the best broom I ever made.
Uh-huh.
but the equipment I have has been in our family for over 100 years.
So, what people don't realize is some of these, insanely cool equipment, like, and the so okay, so you have a winder, you have a kick winder is what we call it. And then you have some people have broom vices that are like stand-up broom vices like I have at my house. I went to Missouri to pick that kick winder
Mhm.
up, and I have another one I need to restore. That's a project I have in mind. Anyway, but there's like some pretty heavy equipment, things that you don't need to make a broom until, the high end stuff. But you can make it with a big log and some twine, just like how they used to make it. But
Mhm.
talk to me a little bit about what do you think about making brooms on this equipment that's been in your family?
Well, I always said I wanna make brooms because I wanna make brooms, not because I have to.
Mhm.
I never want making brooms to be a job.
Mhm.
I'm happy to do something for somebody special,
Mhm.
but I'm probably not gonna get into, I need 50 brooms a month for a hardware store somewhere. I'm not gonna get into that
Yeah.
because that's not that's not fun for me.
Mhm.
I just I just, I I gotta be in well, I used to make a wedding or a double broom. I
Oh,
think
those are
you
beautiful.
I think you've seen those, but
Mhm.
I have to be in the right frame of mind to do that. I turn my phone off, I lock the door.
Mhm.
I don't want anybody bothering me,
Mhm.
because everything's gotta line up just
Just
so
so.
on that.
Mhm.
But I'm kinda steering away from some of the fancier stuff. It's don't have as good a mobility in my fingers to do some of the we call it plaiting.
Mhm.
Um, but like I say, I still plan on making brooms. I've got I got a few fancy handles out there. I got some dyed broom corn, but the guy sold his business to another person on the dyed broom corn, and the prices went up dramatically, and it makes it kind of like I say, I'm not doing this to make money, but I got to have something I can sell too.
Yeah.
And the dyed broom corn is going up. Well, everything's going up in price. So, like I said, I still have some. I've got some natural handles out there that are dipped and ready to go. And I think I got one fancy broom out there. That's all I got. But anyway,
I think with your equipment, you have the big pieces, but he also has the leather cuffs and a needle.
Original from your.
I know you had to have one cuff remade because it.
Remade.
well, my original needle broke.
Yeah, but he had the needle his grandfather
Wow.
used.
And it's broken. If I had somebody that was a serious welder,
Is it steel or is it aluminum?
it's steel.
Is it steel? I can weld it up for you.
It's very fine.
It's okay. TIG welder or MIG welder should do that just fine. Just tack weld.
I'll let you look at it.
Yeah, let me look at it, and I can take it over to my uncle's and weld that for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the cuffs, they have like a thimble basically in the palm, and it's like his grandpa wore those. I think
How
that is so
cool is
cool.
that? Well, you have a picture, is it of your dad on the wall out there?
Yeah.
And the newspaper clipping. I have to make sure I take a picture of that to share with the
Right,
audience
'cause-
because
yeah.
it's so cool. Well, I feel like I could talk all day, and I would love people. Maybe we had to bring him back and show some of these work in some way. I'm gonna start offering broom making classes, workshops locally is what I hope to be starting up here. Hopefully, is to do one this fall.
Nice.
And I just got to figure out all the logistics of everything. But I'm hoping to do that, and maybe you should come and chat.
He can be your helper.
Yeah, I look because I make my brooms are different than your brooms. Like how I make them, the concept is the same,
and that's okay.
but I do it differently than you, and that's just how I began to learn. But you showed me some of the ways that you do it, and I need to learn how to do the shoulder part of the broom. I still haven't nailed that yet. I need to get that. But anyway, I am so glad. Thank you for welcoming me into your home and sitting at your kitchen table with you guys and chatting. I think our audience is really going to enjoy this episode of all the it's just about sitting around and talking.
Yeah.
And I like that. So I'll make sure to put your information about your business on there. And that way they could come and find you. And you're at a lot of festivals throughout the summer as much as you can. So well, hopefully they can catch you sometime and get something. But there's some really cool stuff. So make sure for my audience to go over and check out the photos. There'll be some of their work and of them, so you see what they look like and everything in between.
Not that scary.
It's not that scary. Their voices are really sweet, and so you can only imagine what they look like. So, but all right, guys, I'll let you guys go, and I'll cause this. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode because I sincerely did. I am incredibly inspired every single time someone walks into my studio and sits down. I am able to look in their eyes and I am welcomed into their story, and that is priceless. It is a great honor and also a great responsibility to think that when they said yes to come onto my podcast, that meant that they trusted me. They trusted me enough to allow me to help tell their story, and to me, that means the world. So thank you to my guest. If you'd like to connect with my guest, if they left any or mentioned any
of social media or websites, it will be in the description box below, as well as on my Facebook and Instagram if you want to see what they look like. I have a portrait and a small little write-up along with anything they mentioned within this podcast. So I hope today that you have been inspired to look at your own life and to see that just living your life is important. But I want to inspire you as well to actually document your life. You have an importance in this world, and I want you to use your voice. So it doesn't have to look like 6 pages in a journal or being on a podcast. It can look like a line a day. If you'd like to connect with me, make sure you head over to hereinmytime.com. That is where I have a bi-weekly blog, as well as some of my portfolio work with photography, and where you can also contact me through email at hereinmytime@gmail.com, as well as follow me on Facebook and Instagram. This is at hereinmytime as well, here.inmytime for Instagram, and I have weekly content. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. And until next week,